Hello.
Hello, Mario.
Hello, Mario.
Speaking of Mario.
Speaking of Mario, Kirk and I saw Free Guy last weekend, and we're going to talk about it for a little bit. Not a Fear podcast segment,
no,
just a regular
explicitly
review.
Not Fear podcast.
Because this movie wasn't really very fear-inducing.
No.
It was just good.
It was just good.
It was like the good version of Gamer or Ready Player One, like the good version of
yeah.
It also had a lot of Lego Movie and even like Truman Show elements.
Yeah, you don't really think about it in the moment when you're watching it, but it is very similar.
I would say the movie feels like Ready Player One mixed with like Lego Movie or Truman Show.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the Lego Movie or the Truman Show, but it is better than Ready Player One and It operates somewhere in between those.
Yeah.
Which I know is a pretty big range of quality, actually. But
like it's much more on the actually good end as opposed to the like ironically enjoyable.
I can't decide if it's a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 for me. It's somewhere.
7.5.
Yeah, it's definitely like somewhere in between.
It's got a really, it's just really funny. Like there's so many.
It's
great
really
shows.
fun, and that's what makes it good. Is it really doesn't take itself too seriously.
No, we cracked the code on what makes video game movies work. You can't take it too seriously, but that doesn't mean you can be insincere.
Yeah,
because this movie, while it doesn't take itself seriously, it's still pretty earnest.
We talked about the Sonic movie on the Fear podcast back when it first came out, and that movie is pretty sincere and also doesn't take itself too seriously.
Absolutely not.
That's how Free Guy is as well. It's so sincere and like kind of and just fun that when they do something like cheesy or when they do something that's kind of cheesy or some plot contrivance, like I don't mind it.
Yeah,
it didn't bother me.
Yeah, the worst thing you can say is that like the worst elements of the movie that you can say are like, well, it's not that they're badly done. It's just that it's so like. It's just a nothing burger.
Well, the worst part of the movie is a moment at the end that I don't even mind spoiling because it's not even. It's basically.
Saying it's a spoiler implies that it was set up and that it's an important plot point.
They shoehorn in a two characters are in love now moment at the end that just like that bit is played weirdly straight, and you can just, like, this is like after the actual conflict of the movie is over, and you can just tell a studio exec said, those two need to get together, and the writers were like, alright,
they rolled their eyes, and they were just like,
what they wrote...
Call the actors up so that we can film this
and what they wrote to get them together wasn't even bad, it was just so unbelievably unnecessary.
It wasn't badly done, it was just incredibly... it was just such a nothing thing.
Yeah.
It was complete. It is a complete nothing.
Basically, if you go see it, you can.
But at the very least, there's a better ending after.
Yeah, that's true. They have another ending scene that's
where we get to see two characters reunite after one of them was thought to be dead.
The love plot we're talking about is not the video game NPC falling in love with a human, though.
No. That would have been
cringier. So that doesn't happen. This movie's smart. I mean, there's a lot of like cool.
There's a lot of very clever jokes.
There's not, and it doesn't go too hard on the references. Unlike some movies we've talked about.
Serververse. No, most of the references are just little background gags.
Yeah, they're just like back. Like at one point, Ryan Reynolds has a Mega Man.
No, the most on the nose and cringy are the streamer cameos. But even then...
Even those are built into the movie more organically than any other streamer cameos I've ever seen, because it's the streamers playing themselves.
They're also, like, they make up maybe less than 10 minutes of the movie in their entirety.
They also do a Marvel Star Wars reference at some point. Which should be stupid, but they lean into it, and it actually was a great bit.
It's so funny. Like because you like when you see what it is, you're like, oh no, this is gonna be cringe. But then they do the thing that you're thinking in the back of your head, and then you burst out laughing.
Exactly, it's really fun. That whole fight scene at the end of the movie.
When the dude shows up.
The dude shows up, and we will not tell you who the dude is.
Catchphrase!
I also really like the performances. Ryan
Reynolds is always good, but like he is like on point.
So I think the thing with Ryan Reynolds, for me at least, is he's always good, but there's always something a little bit like movie actor about
Yeah.
him. Like, I am a guy in a movie, which works which is actually a strength in this because he's playing this AI NPC.
Yeah, he's both a fish out of water and like a relatable everyman.
Yeah. So his like his Ryan Reynolds' weird stiltedness just kind of adds to the idea that he's this programmed character that's discovering sentience.
Yeah.
So it actually is like kind of a perfect role for Ryan Reynolds. And I really like the lead actress too.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Jodie Comer. I may have kind of become obsessed with her lately. I started watching a show on Hulu called Killing Eve that she was on before she was in this movie. She plays like an assassin, and she's really good.
She was good in this. So,
Yeah.
She's like a developer who like her code got stolen and she's trying to stick it to the man.
And she's the one that kind of like, and she needs Guy to help her run his character, and that's what. I also like the outside of game stuff. Like a lot of times with these kinds of virtual world, real world storylines, the outside stuff is like, oh god, this is so boring.
But this was like, it was actually really
good. The outside stuff has Joe Keery from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He's good. And then it has Taika Waititi as like the corporate game dev studio exec.
Like one of the only good evil businessman villains
I saw
I've ever seen.
some reviews saying he was too over the top. Anyone who thinks that doesn't know what actual gaming studio execs are like because they are like this fucking guy.
If anything, he's too restrained.
Yeah, like there are gaming studios
like he's not sitting there saying, you know, crunch is just an inevitability of our industry. It's not my fault that we grind our employees into dust.
No, he's a really good like version of specifically like a slimy corporate all about the money,
but who's trying to present themselves as
hip and cool and a gamer. Yeah. It's you can tell Taika Waititi did his research into what these kinds of people are like.
Absolutely.
And like went for that. Created a very specific version of that.
And there's a great thing in the ending that like that really highlights that. Where like any other type of this like one-dimensional villain, like in the ending, instead of like doing a business deal or whatever, they would be like, no, I'm going to kill everything. I'm gonna burn
everyone.
I'll burn it all down.
Yeah.
But no, like he's actually a businessman. So when he gets offered a deal that makes him happy, but also gets these people off his back, he takes it.
Yeah.
Even if
it leads to his undoing.
Yeah, because he's too in that business mindset.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, no, I like reviewing movies like a week or so after I've seen them because it gives me time to digest and process. This movie's definitely been on my mind the whole week, like not constantly, but I think,
but like a scene from this movie comes up in your head.
I'll think about the music. It had like an oddly. I mean, they didn't like use a lot of music.
It wasn't like a Guardians of the Galaxy style. Like this is a
like pay
jukebox
attention
movie.
to the soundtrack, but it was like
it had a really good soundtrack.
Was good. I also like just the way the world is set up. I like that for once, one of these like these video game worlds, it's not a VR world, and that's like kind of important. Like that's what I feel like making it a VR world means you have to answer so many more questions to keep the audience's suspension of disbelief going. Whereas
gamer moment.
Yeah, gamer moment, Ready Player One moment, but this one, it's not a VR game. It's just a normal game, which oddly keeps it more grounded in like our time.
They also don't use like it's a video game, therefore we don't have to explain the rules.
No, they explain like the way the game is programmed, why Guy is achieving sentience, even like when they're looking,
even why he's able to level up so fast.
Yeah, when they're looking for the place where the secret like the proof is that Taika Waititi like stole the game dev's idea. They find it in a way that like it's this place that's like off the map, but Ryan Reynolds can see it in his window reflection because they didn't program out the reflection.
Because you don't actually program reflections when you make games. You just copy paste images.
Yeah, so it's like stuff like that you can tell more and more gamers are starting to get into the writing room for these movies. Like Ready Player One had a few moments where it felt like Ready Player One had maybe one gamer in the writing room.
But like they were constantly getting
drowned out.
And then when Steven Spielberg got brought on to fix the project, they left.
Right, yeah. But like Free Guy actually feels like there were.
It actually feels
people
like
knew what they were
a
talking
movie
about.
for gamers.
Yeah. For gamers, by gamers. We still haven't achieved, like, there's still no video game movie that's like a masterpiece. We haven't hit that yet, but we're between this and Sonic, I feel like we're on a steady climb for video game, for Hollywood to figure out how to make video games.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be that Mario movie that they're
by Illumination.
By Illumination, potentially starring James Corden.
Oh God, we're not talking about that.
Oh God. Karen moment.
Yeah.
By the way, the Karen movie also exists.
We're not talking. That's Fear podcast material.
I don't want to watch it on the podcast.
Is there anything else I really want to talk about? Not really. I kind of
because I don't want to spoil a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil. I don't really want to go into spoilers. I don't. Some reviews I'll start for like 10 minutes out of spoilers and then dive into spoilers.
But like with a comedy like this, it's like spoiling the jokes.
Just go watch
basically
it.
ruins the movie.
If you saw the trailers for Free Guy and thought this concept is good, but every other movie like this has been trash, go see this movie because the concept is good, and this is the not trash version of this concept.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Also, it's not like a pain on your eyes like the trailers made it seem.
No, it's not visually overwhelming. Like
They do that at like the very start when he starts getting
they need to show because he has to wear these glasses that give him like player powers essentially.
But then once they establish that, like they basically don't ever show it again unless they need
shots
to.
of that anymore. So it's not like this movie is decidedly not obnoxious, which is not something I can say about any other gaming movie, including Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic has some
Sonic by its very nature is a little bit obnoxious.
Yeah.
This movie is
You're too slow.
Yeah. This movie is very sincere and like not obnoxious about its. It's just telling a story.
Change.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like quirky or edgy. It's just like a cool story about games and AI.
It does that by just being itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Boom.